y'all, and welcome to today's video. I am going to be ranking all of my palettes from Nomad. I am excited. I have a pile of palettes here in front of me, and I'm just gonna rank them. I'm gonna tell you which one is my most favorite, which one is my least favorite, and everything in between. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm excited about it, and if you're new here, hey, my name is Heather, and makeup makes me happy. Here at my channel, we don't try to be perfect. We just want to have a good time with our makeup, whatever that means. I do upload lots of new videos every single week. Right now, I'm actually uploading every single day for Vlogmas, so please do subscribe before you leave. But I cannot wait to rank these, so let's jump into it. Okay, so starting off, I will say none of these palettes are bad palettes. All of these are really, really good. I really only keep things in my collection that I truly like. And with Nomad, I tried them for the first time last year. So some of these palettes I have bought myself. Some of these palettes the brand has sent to me. I do have an affiliate code with Nomad. It is Heather. I will put it in the description box, and I will link Nomad down below there too. So none of these palettes are bad palettes, but the thing with ranking is it's fun, it's stressful, it's like, okay, which one is my favorite, and just kind of putting them in order. So if I rank your favorite palette at the bottom, I'm not saying it's a bad palette or anything like that. I'm just sharing my personal preferences with you. So I have 9 palettes. Let's start off with number 9 is this Santa's Village palette. So this is actually the newest palette from Nomad, and it is the smallest palette that I have from the brand. This one is really, really cute. So first of all, I really like this packaging with the Northern Lights on it. So this is based around Santa's Village in Finland. Yes. I was like, let me double check. So Nomad always does their palettes around like a travel theme, right? Nomad. Super duper fun. And this palette was really good. This palette is a different formula from some of the others that we'll talk about that are a little more toward the top of my ranking. Very, very beautiful, and I like the selection of colors. I think it's really well thought out that we have a light neutral matte, a dark neutral matte with this gray down here, and then we have a red and a green, which is perfect for the Christmas theming. The shimmer shades are definitely more topper-esque. I really enjoy layering them over mattes, using them on the inner corner, things like that. We have a nice mirror in this palette. But when I'm looking at all my Nomad palettes together, there are ones that I just prefer more. But again, this one is a really beautiful palette, and I do enjoy it quite a lot. Okay, next up, I have the Tokyo palette. This one is so cute. This one says it was designed on location in Tokyo. And first of all, the packaging is so cute. I really want to travel to Japan one day, but this palette, I think is fun. This is one of the first palettes that I bought from Nomad, and I like it. Now, this is a pastel colorful palette, and I love it for it being a pastel palette, but of course when I'm looking at all my palettes overall, I do prefer like deeper, darker, more dramatic looks. To me, this is more of a companion palette. I like to pull this in because we have a lot of like shades that we can use to blend out deeper shades with. So if I'm doing a jewel tone look or something, I can grab this palette and use some of these shades to kind of buff, blend. We also have some really beautiful shades that are perfect for like the inner corner, and I really like that. This yellow shade is, like you can see, I've probably used this one the most. I love, we have like these little kittens imprinted on the pans, And I really like that we have these like special sparkly shimmer shades down at the bottom. I do think the Nomad eyeshadow formula has gotten better since this palette, but this one is still really good and I like it a lot. It's super colorful and fun. I also like that we have these two grays in here because I do think that adds some versatility to the palette. Overall, super, super cute. I want to say all of the palettes except for this one, I do have dedicated videos here on my channel. So if you're watching this ranking and you really want to see close-ups of the palette, you want to see swatches, you want to see how they perform on the eyes, definitely check out my Nomad Cosmetics playlist. I'll link it in the description box for you because this is just a ranking video, but I do have videos where I go more in depth. Like I said, I think this is the only one that doesn't have its own video here on my channel, but I have featured it in other videos. All right, next up, I have the Paradise Islands palette. This one is super fun. It launched this year, I want to say during the summer, but this is a very colorful palette. Really, really like this one too. Again, I like all of these palettes. That's why they stuck around in my collection, but this is a pretty large palette. And what I really like about this one is that we do have these beautiful pinky orange tones. Then we have these beautiful green tones, and then we have blues and purples. This palette has some really pretty kind of like duochromes as well. This is like a pinky purpley shift, and this is a more blue purple shift. I really like this palette. The only reason it's not coming in a little bit higher for me is because overall it is mid-tone to light shades. I really like the looks I create with this palette though. I think it's so, so pretty. Again, the shade selection in here is so beautiful. This shade right here, Stingray, is so pigmented and easy to work with. I just really, really love it. And I love that we have a good mix of like mattes, duochromes. We have some beautiful, more traditional shimmers, as well as some very sparkly, intense shimmers. This one is really, really pretty. And if you're looking for this kind of like shade range, I think you'll really like this palette. Okay, next up I have the Hudson Valley palette. This one, of course, screams fall, and I think it's so, so fun. So let me show you the inside, because I really like this outside packaging. Like this was a good fall release. This palette is mostly mattes. You have 12 matte shades with 3 really pretty shimmers in the center. I like these shimmers. They have a really pretty, like, sparkly reflect to them, not glitter. None of the palettes that I'm going to talk about have glitter in them, but I like that we have these cool tones over here on this side. So we have 3 more cool toned neutral shades, 3 cool toned green shades, and then you come over here and you have 6 warm mattes. And for me, that makes the palette very versatile because I can create a cool tone look, a warm tone look, or I can mix the two. So I love that we have, again, these more neutrally shades right here with this yellow, orange, red, and then a deep dark red. So I like that we have some dark shades in here and some light shades. The shimmers in here are really super pretty too. Overall, this is a really quality palette. And like I said, it's special to me because it's a beautiful fall color story with a mix of cool tones and warm tones. And I enjoy it. All right, now we are in the top 5. And at number 5, I put this palette. This palette is based off of France, Provence, France. And one thing I didn't say yet is all of the Nomad palettes, they usually donate to some type of charity that is based in or around the place that they're inspired by. I think this is really fun. This one has some bees imprinted on the pan. I really like Nomad does these beautiful embossings, stamps on their shadows, and of course those do wear away after a while, but they're printed and they're really good. So it's not like you're going to use it one time and that imprint's going to be gone. They do stick around for a bit, but the charity with this one was centered around bees, the Bee Conservatory, and so there are some bees here on the palette. And what I really like about this palette is I get very like 90s vibes. If you ever watched the show Blossom, I don't know, like when I saw this palette, it made me think about it. Like it's these very like colorful shades, but almost like washed out colorful shades. Like I love these kind of denim blues that we have over here. We have some nice purples, yellows, these kind of peachy pinks over here, and then full on pink. I like that we have a very dark shade, a very light shade, and we really have some pretty mattes that I can use in the inner corner, like this bright yellow, this pink. Of course you can use it on the lid too, but we do have all mattes, then all either shimmer or some type of special shade, and then all matte again. Something about that is very, very pleasing for me to look at and use. So these three shades right here are extra, extra sparkly, whereas these two shades right here are a little more soft. So they're going to be very flattering. I really like to use these two light colors on the inner corner. Really, really beautiful, kind of soft shimmer, whereas these three are very intense shimmers. But overall, I feel like this palette is super pretty, and that's why it's in my top 5. All right, next up, coming in at number 4 is the Whistler Snow Lodge. This one is so pretty. I really like the packaging on this one, and this one is based on Whistler, British Columbia. So we have such a beautiful, yes, it's a winter color story, and I think it's perfect for the winter time, the holidays. We have beautiful blues, beautiful reds and greens, but really you can use any of these palettes year round, of course. I don't personally base my makeup on the seasons. I wear what I want to no matter what, but I do think it can be fun to be inspired by the seasons when you're maybe shopping your stash. And this palette, I'm like, wow, I think this one is so good. I love that we have a matte black in here, and we have this beautiful bronzy tone. This palette too has a lot of like fun with the imprints in the pans, because you have like a moose wearing like ski goggles, you have slopes, you have skis, the Nomad logo. Just overall, I can tell a lot of thought went into this palette. Again, we do have a light shimmer. This is like a pink white duochrome. This blue shade right here is also really, really beautiful. It's this true blue shade that you can see, like super pretty, but it also has like this pink purple sparkle to it that make it very special and unique. I love this shade too. Is a very intense sparkle shade. It's a deeper blue with this kind of like purple sparkle. These golds, very intense. The greens are pretty. I feel like Nomad does a good job of bringing us a mix of mattes and shimmer shades. I personally love when a palette goes from light to dark, and when it has different formulas in there. And this palette, you definitely have more than one shimmer formula, which I really like. You have this that's a little more soft, you have this that's a duochrome, and then you have these that are more intense, sparkly, really kind of like special shades. The color story of this one is really beautiful, and every single shade in it performs so well. Okay, we're in the top 3, and at number 3, I put the Monteverde Cloud Forest. This is so cute. Look at our little sloth guy here. I love the like birds, and it's just, the details in this packaging are so fun. And this is based out of the Monteverde Cloud Forest. I want to say that's in Costa Rica. But again, we have that nice big mirror. This is the large palette format. This one, I love greens. Green is my favorite color, and that's one of the reasons it's ranking a bit higher for me. And this is one that I just really like fell in love with when I saw it in person. I was like, oh, like it kind of took my breath away, because we have beautiful, beautiful green tones in here. So you can create several different varieties of a monochromatic green look. I love that. But of course we have more than just green in here. I like that with Nomad, they gave us just enough neutral. So if you want to do an all neutral look, you totally can, because you do have this matte brown. And this matte brown does have a more green olive undertone, which we love. And then we have this beautiful like gray tone up here. Very, very special. I love this. Is a blue to green shifty shadow. We just, so pretty. And these vibrant shades like the pink, the yellow, this green, they're very neon, like deep neons, intense, beautiful. This is another shade that has a really pretty shift to it. It's like this dead leaf green that has like this gold pinky sparkle to it. It's very special. I really, really like this palette. This pink up here performs beautifully too. The quality in this palette is next level, and it was such a good release. Okay, the top two palettes, this is where it was so hard. I'm telling y'all, it's like when I'm picking favorites, sorting some of the palettes out, it's easy, right? I'm kind of like, okay, you're not as much a favorite. I really love. But then when it came to the top two, both of these palettes could be number one. And I mean, ask me in a month from now, number two may be number one may be number two. But these two are always my top two. But they could both be number one. But listen, we have to rank them somewhere, right? That's the beauty of this, is I torture myself to rank these. But coming in at number two, I have the Fire and Ice palette. This one was themed around Iceland. This was the first palette I ever purchased from Nomad. I want to say they launched this at the beginning of 2021, and the color story spoke to me so much. I was like, I have to buy this. And this is the palette that started my love for the brand, because the quality of this palette is so insanely good. Beautiful, beautiful. These sparkle shades are so intense. I love that we have cool tones and warm tones in one palette. We have this row right here of shimmer shades that are very beautiful. A very like intense, but almost like finely milled shimmer. It's very beautiful, very smooth, but still intense on the lid. These cool tones here, this blue, like these matte blues, so gorgeous. This is like a very icy white blue shade without being completely white. Like it's if you had a scale between white and blue. This is a very sparkly shade that I love, kind of this grayish blue. Then of course we have the Fire here. We have this beautiful like almost blackened gray shade. This shade right here, very sparkly. I love this tone right here. Again, every part of this palette I love. I have used this one so much. I really enjoy it. Again, it's what started my love for Nomad, and it could be my number one palette. It could be, if it weren't for the one that I'm loving the most right now. Okay, coming in at number one, I have to give it to Haunted Europe. This one just, I bought this one. I want to say this was like their fall Halloween launch for last year. And I was like, oh, this is such a good one. Like, this is so perfect. This is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. I did film this look. It's either on Instagram as you're seeing this, or it will be coming very soon to Instagram, I promise. This palette though, first of all, the packaging is so fun. This is the only packaging that I have that does like this, like it shifts. And I love the theme, like the haunted theming. It's set, yeah, Haunted Europe, inspired by the dark fairy tales of Europe, and I love that. This palette is deep and dark and grungy. It has cool tones, it has warm tones, it has neutral, it has colorful. I truly, truly love this color story. So this row right here, if you look at these 6 shades, we have these beautiful warm tones, this kind of neutrally light brown shade. We have a very, very yellow gold, and then we have this more like, it's a yellow to orange gold. You know, it has a little bit of a different tone to it. We have a deep dark brown and orange, and we have this beautiful kind of slate gray over here that I love. Also, the embossings on the pan with the bats, the castles, the cemetery, I love. We have a green row. Hello, green is my favorite color. We have this beautiful navy, and then this gray is definitely different from this one. This one definitely has a more purpley blue to it. This shade is the shade I'm wearing on my inner corner. It's almost like a gray vanilla, like very kind of like dirty, and I'm into that. This more purpley cool tone row with this kind of gray purple, this pretty taupey shade. This beautiful purple is what you see all over the lid. And then we have this warm row. So if you wanted to create something warmer, you definitely could. I love this kind of like pinky berry tone up here that's kind of red. The textures in this palette are so beautiful. You definitely have different shimmer formulas. You have beautiful mattes. Everything about this palette I just love. It goes dark, it goes light, it goes colorful, it goes neutral. You can do what you want. And this look that I created with it today, I just love. I want to say, I think this was my second purchase from Nomad, and I love it. I think Nomad continues to bring out unique, fun, beautiful color stories, and I'm really excited to see what the brand is going to do in the future. Definitely excited to try their new stuff, to see their new locations, everything like that. It's going to be so fun. I would love to know, maybe you've never tried Nomad. Definitely let me know which one of these palettes you think you would like most, which color story speaks to you the most, or if you have Nomad, let me know what you have, what's your favorite. I love hearing from y'all. Like I said, this look will be coming. I'm also wearing the Kiss lashes in collaboration with Meredith Ducksbury, and I Fancy You is the style. Let me tell you, I'm wearing my Jaclyn Cosmetics bronzer today. For blush, I'm wearing the NARS Rising Star Cheek palette, but I don't know the blush names, but I will point. I'm wearing this one and then this one mixed together. I really love this. I'm wearing my Bella Beauty Bar Oracle Chrome highlighter palette, and I'm wearing the shade The Moon right there. And then on my lips, I have on ABH Lipliner in Malt and the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump and Forget Me Not. So that's all I have on today. Do check this description box if you're curious about anything. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye!